It's happening again.
What are you talking about?
I know, Russ, you had just recently seen Scream 5.
Yes.
I actually don't know anything about the reviews it got or if it was supposed to be good or not. So I'm kind of going in cold to this conversation. I'm interested to hear your points. I have, like you mentioned before, seen Scream 1 now one time recently, and I did enjoy it, but I'd like to hear your journey with Scream 5.
Well, let's begin with you.
Okay.
Because Scream 5, out of all the sequels, relies heavily on the original.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
What were your thoughts? I'm interested to hear someone, because to me, Scream is a very 90s movie.
Yeah.
I saw it when I was 14. You know, when you get older, your tastes change. Does that movie hit the same way as it did in 1996?
People want to know. They have a right to know.
I don't think that I took to it the way that I see everyone has taken to it over the years. Like, I think I was kind of like when I went to watch Raiders of the Lost Ark. I went into that thinking, like, this movie's been built up for years. There's no way I'm going to go into this and like it as much as I need to be liking this thing or anything. You know, like, there's just no way. But I actually did. And when I went to see Scream, I kind of felt the same way. I was like, this thing has been built up for years. We've talked about it for months. I'm going to go into this and really just be kind of blasé on it. And I feel like I kind of was a little bit...
Stop right there.
I did enjoy it. I thought that, just like you mentioned, it's very clever. The writing's clever, even though I kind of knew the ending. The fact that I knew the ending was interesting because there are a lot of clues that are like being dropped that sometimes even the characters are saying to one another in certain scenes that are telling basically the audience, hey, we're the killers, but you wouldn't know that if you didn't know the ending.
It's called tact, you fuck rag.
Matthew Lillard kind of bothered me the whole time.
Really? Why?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just every time he was on screen, he was just so... No, what was it? It was the end. It was the ending. When it's finally revealed who he is, he just becomes like completely... I don't know what it is. Just like completely ridiculous all of a sudden.
He had to, though.
Yeah.
Because think about what his motive was.
Right.
Skeet Ulrich's character had a legitimate movie motive.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody would do that in real life. His motive was nothing. And so they had to turn it, in my opinion, a little comical.
It's a Scream, baby.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
true.
when he's on the phone,
it was
he's
very comical. That's how it
pure
ended
pressure.
up.
He even says it in the part. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
they're aware of like, hey, this is kind of hokey. So like,
Yeah.
and Lillard is to me the type of performer who could sell that Lillard energy.
No.
I can definitely see why people love it the way that they love it. I think had I watched it the time that I needed to watch it, I might be saying something differently right now, but I definitely enjoyed it. I mean, it was something, I didn't end up buying it. It was something I thought about after it was over. It's actually something I thought about before I even watched it. I was like, I'll just blind buy this thing. I was watching in 4K and that'd be that, but I ended up streaming it instead.
What did you say?
I was highly entertained by it.
Oh yeah.
Highly
it's
entertained.
entertaining movie.
Oh,
sure.
dude, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a tight script.
Definitely.
It's a great script.
Definitely.
When I saw it for the first time at 14, I was caught up. I was not expecting it to be two killers like most people at that time. I thought it was extremely clever, as you said, sharp. The cast was great. I think a lot of horror fans after it, the sort of Kevin Williamson, the I Know What You Did Last Summer's, the urban legends, all that. A lot of people felt like you were just kind of making fun of horror, that new wave. No one was a fan. I always defended it because it's a smart movie and it is a satire, meaning it's part of the genre while poking fun at it. Skip all the sequels. To recap for people watching, 2 is a great sequel. Scream 2 is really good.
Okay.
Simply because it has things to do. I mean, if Scream is satirizing the slasher genre, what is one of the biggest tropes of the slasher genre? The sequels, franchising. And with sequels, there come new sets of rules, you know?
Yeah.
So Scream 2 had a lot of material to mine. After that, you're done.
Are you sure?
3 and 4, instantly forgettable. Which brings us to 5.
Was 5 a reboot? A sequel, direct
5?
sequel? Does it skip anything? Does it, like, you know, come from 1 and now it's this new one and that's how all the other ones forget them?
5 is the Force Awakens of the Scream franchise.
You know how they always say it goes back to the original? Here's the original.
So it's like doing the same thing again, even though it's really a sequel.
Yes. fan service. You got to bring back the
Yeah.
beloved characters, but we're following the new storyline. But it is so in line with what happened in the original,
Okay.
and that sucks.
Fuck you.
As much, and I just sat here and I gave Scream its flowers. I defended it all these years. I can't go as far as to say Scream is in the same league as Halloween, as Texas Chainsaw Massacre, as Psycho, as Nightmare on Elm Street, all these other classic horror films. And this bugged me in Scream 5 because everything was presented to me as if it was monumental. Like there's a scene towards the end where Sidney goes back to Billy's house. They end up at the same exact house that they're at, the parties at in the original. And when they get there, there's this like zoom shot of the house, and Nev Campbell has this look on her face. And to me, I'm like, there was nothing monumental about this house in the first one.
Yeah, it's
like, why are you showing
the house?
I'm not like, oh my God, she's back at the house.
Yeah.
Like Sydney's been through about 5 tragedies at this point. Who cares? What was significant about that house?
Mm-hmm.
Spoilers also. Skeet Ulrich is in Scream 5. Guess what he is?
Is he the killer again?
That would have actually been funny. He just came back from the dead.
Yeah.
And that shit, I may have given the movie extra points for that.
Like,
No, they're
why is he back at all?
Apparently, Skeet cheated on Sydney in the original Scream and had a kid. And now this girl is his daughter. She's older.
Okay.
But guess what? She sees visions of her father like Dexter, and he talks to her. She's wrestling with her dead dad she never met, who talks to her and looks exactly as he did in the end of Scream with the white t-shirt and blood on him and everything.
Wow.
It's ridiculous.
Is he real? Is he CGI? How's he looking?
CGI. They could have paid him $5 and Skeet would have showed up. He's got nothing going on.
Sounds about right.
That goes back to my point. Was Billy that, like when people think of Scream, when people think of Halloween, they think Michael Myers. When I think of Scream, I don't really think of the killers.
The ghost mask.
Yeah, you either think of the ghost mask or I think of Dewey. I think of Sidney Prescott.
Yeah.
I think of all these other things. They weren't that iconic. But in Scream 5, it's being presented to me as if it's this upper echelon of, great horror villains. And it just doesn't work for me.
You wanna fuck with me, asshole?
When he appears on screen, you could tell it's like the audience, I imagine they're thinking is supposed to be like, wow, Billy's back and that's his daughter. And she's wow. This is The Force Awakens.
Got it.
This is, we're not erasing what happened in 2, 3, and 4, but we're only directly referencing what we think the fans who are old enough now to take their kids to the movie theater are going to want to relate to, are going to want to tug at their heartstrings, nostalgia.
And what about this daughter and the new cast? Are they completely forgettable? Does anyone?
Sure, of
is
course
there?
they are.
It's true. It's a true statement.
They're serviceable, but again, we're working with a horror film in a part 5. I'm not looking for the new cast members to
do anything,
to be Oscar
than die.
worthy. Yeah.
Do any of the old cast die?
Yes, and that bothered me too a little bit.
Okay.
Not bothered me, but I learned something from this new Scream because Scream satirized the rules. That was the whole thing in the original. Rules have changed, man, and I realized that watching this movie. Spoiler alert, Dewey gets killed.
Believe me, I know.
On its surface, that sounds fine.
Rest in
Of
peace.
course, you got to
not-
kill a
yeah.
beloved. Hey, we got to kill Han Solo.
Gotta kill somebody.
You got to do something in our Force Awakens reboot of Scream.
Mm-hmm.
Why Dewey, though?
You got stabbed 1 billion times, got dumped by your famous wife, and crawled into a bottle.
By traditional horror rules, throughout this franchise, Dewey has been innocent. Dewey has never been... He never crossed anyone. He's Dewey. He's
He was
kind
never
of aloof.
secretly involved in anything strange or weird.
He's always nice to everyone. He doesn't break any rules. If you were going to kill a beloved character in Scream 5, it should have been Gale.
It was my turn. It was a great opportunity.
Because even in the original, Gale
was
was
an
kind.
asshole.
Yes.
Yeah.
And by horror rules, Gale should die if you're going to kill a beloved character.
But is it because Dewey's so sweet
Yes.
that they did that to him?
Oh, no, no,
Is
no.
that the purpose of it?
No, no, not at all. It's just shock value.
Just for shock
it's
value.
just, you got it. Just Han Solo. And don't get me wrong, I don't want to see Gale get killed either. But if you're going to do it, she was vapid
Yeah.
in this series many times. Dewey was not.
I'm going to assume this movie is not clever in the sense that we describe Scream, the original, as clever, but I'm going to also assume that they tried to pull something clever off at the end like the original Scream did. So how did they succeed?
Yeah, without spoiling, I admit the movie it's simultaneously better and worse than I was expecting.
Oh.
The twist, the clever attributes of this film, they work for today. I can see why this movie is a hit. It's smarter than an average movie that is released in our time in 2022 in recent years, but it's still not smart. It's just smarter.
Yeah.
For modern entertainment, Scream 5 it's not Halloween Kills. It's better than that. But like I said, not for me.
Not for you.
Not for me, but I don't fault anyone who would enjoy
If a
Scream
new
5.
box set comes out,
No.
Fuck you.
I didn't buy that Scream, that
Yeah.
Steelbook of the
Yeah.
original that came out, the 4K release. I
Right.
didn't pick that up.
and you saw this in the theater or streamed it?
Oh, I illegally downloaded that.
Yeah, okay, I wasn't
I'm
sure.
not supporting
I
this.
wasn't sure.
It's so dramatic, too. Let me add that in here real quick.
Okay.
Scream 5, it is the most dramatic out of them all. It feels like a Lifetime movie at parts, dude. Everybody's crying in this film. Everybody's crying in this
There's
movie.
a lot of history to dig up.
A lot of history, misery, crying, dude.
Yeah.
It's the saddest Scream. It's the most emotional Scream.
20
They shouldn't have called it Scream. They should have called it Cry.
cry. 22 years of just this town being plagued by these killers and these killings. They got a lot going on, Russ.
That's true. I'd be crying too.
A lot of crying, especially if they keep bringing me back for another movie and after another after another. How many has Neve Campbell been in? Is this only her second one?
No, she's in all of them.
All of them. Wow.
You've been through literally this will be your 5th massacre. Like
I'd just kill myself.
I
It's like,
know,
I think
it-
I'm the problem now.
I know. Dude, I was thinking going in like, watch, they're going to do some twist where like Sydney's the killer.
How would you have liked that?
Honestly, it probably would have been better than what it is.
You'd have given-
Because
yeah.
what the ending is now, it is just another like no one in their right mind would do this. Get away with it, be able to plan it.
Yeah.
But that's part of the fun.
That's
you
part
could,
of the fun.
You could say that about the original as
Yeah.
well. I mean, I'm not going to.
We're just tired of having this kind of fun for the 5th time.
It's not fun for Neve Campbell
No,
anymore.
not
She's
anymore.
terrorized.
Yeah.
Thanks for the recommendation. I can't wait to illegally download it also.